Gonna continue on with the comp grind, and unfortunately I had forgot to register for the Carp Foundation. I actually wanted to put that up on the channel, but that didn't happen because I didn't register for it. So we're gonna enter into this catch 'em all and see if we can have any luck. Also, I will be playing in these two, so I'm gonna do a nice long comp grind here. And probably a little fishing in between. I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff mixed up. Join this. And I'm trying to remember which way I went. Let's say that way. Oh, this peak doesn't... Okay, that peak's alright. It's cloudy, but it's not going to matter. I don't know how these mixes are working anymore. I know I did spend some time at Weeping, and it wasn't too pleasant. So I'm going to throw a little black roacher in first. Tiny bit of big riverine. And a little bit of active feeder. If we get a small carp out of it, that'd be fine. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in. Like the spicy roach. The one on top. If we pick up some tencher bream out of it, that'd be fine. Try this and see what happens. No guarantees in this thing. I did put up 20 points my first time in this, but that don't mean that'll happen this time. And like last time, I'm gonna walk all the way down here. Mainly target roach. Put something else on the side, that'll be just fine. I'm just going to cast out 5 times and put some on a pole. That way I can just refresh the water. And we'll see if we have any luck. May or may not. Never know in these things. And you guys tune in, just doing a nice comp grind today. I'm going to go from, I meant to register for the Carp Foundation, but unfortunately I forgot to. We did pick a bream up right off the bat. Oh wait, what? There we go. Prussian carp. This is kind of the underwater version of 1x1, I think. Or I would say bottom rod version of 1x1. Come on now, give us a bite. And you guys tuning in, I forgot to register for the Carp Foundation comp. My apologies. Bonehead Award. I went to start the live stream for it, and I happened to look, and it was grayed out, and then realized I didn't even register, so my apologies. Congratulations to Cole Crotter, Xena, and Dark Arrow, though, who took overwhelming 1, 2, and 3 there. Good fishing, you guys. And Cole Crotter, dang near hit 2,000 points in that carp comp, so that's an amazing feat for that thing. Starting to wonder if I shouldn't spot just a little more. I've only played in this one other time, and I did put this up on the channel for little pointers. Had a fairly successful run in that one. Don't mean I will be able to duplicate that every time. But if you do have a look on the channel, look on live and then look on Catch 'em All. I think I got 23 or 24 in that, but don't mean you'll do that every time. But I did figure out that just simply black rocher, a few other little ingredients in there should help you. And you might be able to just attach it to your pole as well, but that's what I'm kind of messing around with now. It did seem like I got a fairly quick bite when I'd spotted, and I attached some to the rod, so we'll just kind of see how this plays out. Again, the rewards in this one are not overwhelming, other than maybe the X Series 3-inch grub I think's in it. And I'm pretty sure Cole Crotter and them will probably play in this, so they'll probably be the guys to beat, but we'll see. I heard from a buddy before I even put this up here that this one could be really slow, so I wanted to put it up anyway and just do some grinding today. The next one will be Blaze the Maze. That one will be a little more fun, catching shark. I would assume this one, depending on your bite rate, could be a little boring. But at some point, the roach should start biting. And this one, you're just looking for numbers, so it doesn't really matter the size of the fish that you catch, even though I did get a trophy roach there. Thank you, Josh. Again, I did spot a little bit, and I put some on the feeder here, so I don't know which one's working other than I know black roacher should work, especially if you couple it with the pinkies. And again, you can pick up Prussian carp off the pinkies as well as the other little varieties. But you may want to try bloodworms. But I would assume bloodworms, maggots, or anything like that would work. But again, doesn't matter what you catch, but I know this is a nice little roach hot spot. Made sense to use black roacher more than anything because it'll still pick up Prussian carp and that sort of thing as well. And what's funny is I need to actually look back on my own video and see what I had pointers at the end that I would have did something different, and I can't remember what it was. I wanted to say I would have had a little bit more of a mix. That way I could just keep chumming the water every 5 or 6 fish, maybe spot it once. So I probably could have had 2 mixes. But again, since the rewards aren't all that great, this is just one that, since it was up, I wanted to go ahead and play in it and put it up live. Given the small time frame in this as well, I'm not sure what to expect on the scores. So I don't know. The first time I played in this, I want to say I got 22 to 24 points or something like that, but I was on fire that day, so who knows. And that was the first time I played in it, which was cool. But it does appear, as soon as I put a little more spot out there, it seemed to have a little more action, so. In other words, I'm not 100% positive if you should just put black roach or a black roach mix on your spot, guys, other than I do know that the Hook 14 works well with pinkies. Also assume Cole Crotter and those guys got this thing down. They're probably tuning in and laugh at me. Say, Road, we're going to come in here and dominate this thing. Just you wait. And believe it or not, some of these things you can say that are lucky and some are not, but I want to point out one thing too is just looking at this last comp that was up here. These guys here, look how far they're ahead. That's the difference between skill and knowledge and kind of knowing how to do things. But those top three guys right there, but definitely just put a beat down. These guys just put a beat down on these people. So good stuff, guys. I assume any of them that are coming here are probably going to put a beat down on me, so I'm not going to get overly confident in this thing. It's only the second time I played in it, but I did okay in the first time. But I would assume if Cole Crowder and them guys come in here, they're going to wreck everybody. Again, you only got 30 minutes in this thing, so my approach may not be the best one for you, but you can see mine kind of slowed down as soon as I didn't spot. So they may just be attaching something and not even spotting. They might have a nice little recipe, the guys that are doing this. Again, I just kind of read through the labels and figured Black Roacher's the best pick. It was the last time, so. I noticed from using pinkies here the last time that bream, Prussian carp, and of course the roach. And again, I think this kind of just reminds me of a slower version of the one by one, but you're using a feeder rod there on the bottom. But I'm sure there's just some technical things some guys probably know to keep that bite rate steady, assuming the computer hasn't glitched out. But for me on this one, I'm noticing absence of spotting. The bite rate's not quite as quick, just with the seems like it wears off fairly quick. So this is something that you're interested in. You definitely kind of want to play around with a little bit and see. But 30 minutes gives you just very little time to keep spotting over and over. As you can see, we got 6 fish, but you probably, I don't know if that was a fast peak or a slower peak the last time I paid in this, but doesn't feel like I'm on pace for that. As you can see, this is kind of slowing down already. And up next on the schedule will be Blaze the Maze. I want to say it's catch the one small and then obviously go for the biggest shark you can, or the longest. I'd have to double check. I played in that one a couple times, but it's usually fairly fun. I'll try to drag this back a little bit and see if I have any action. But I am noticing as soon as I catch a couple fish, I almost have to throw another spot out. So then a guy starts thinking, do you throw 2 spots out, don't even put anything on your mix, or don't even put anything in your feeder? It's hard to say. The odd part is when I throw the spot out. I'll try it one more time. Let's see. See if it makes any difference. If you notice, it went pretty slow there, and if I spot it again, will it pick right back up? I'm actually just going to throw... we'll throw 2 out and see if we get 2 or 3 fish out of it. And yes, I missed that by a mile. At this point, I'm going to save a little bit because I put the same mix that's shared onto my pole, so I don't want to throw another one out. Let's see if we get a bite a little quicker or not. And you guys too now, I'm just doing a comp grind today. This one's kind of boring, but I wanted to, it's the only thing that was up on the schedule right now, so my options were limited, guys. Bear with me. But I'll probably go do some fishing at the Amazon to keep the stream going, and then get ready for the Blaze the Maze here. I think it starts at 5, or in about an hour and a half. And given the scores right now, I'm going to assume this is the slower peak, because I know it was in the 20s last time. I want to say I took 5th or 6th. But this is definitely the slower peak. Looking at the pace of the guys that are in it right now currently. It does appear they do not even want to give us a fish right now. Let me cast out just a little farther. I did overthrow that first throw, so let's see if that had something to do with it. Josh, have you entered yet? Are you going to play in this one? And thankfully this thing's only a half hour. Welcome to the stream, and you guys tuning in. This one's actually a pretty slow one. It's only the second time I played it. And I actually put this one up on the channel and labeled it 2-3 weeks ago when I first started my channel. Um, I did put up a decent score in that one, but this one does seem to be the slower peak. Again, this is probably one of those ones, unless this is something you're really into, this would be one of those ones that you probably just join kind of like I did because there's really nothing else on. But again, it does get it can get streaky too. So um, with my time constraints, what I'll do is probably next one, I'm just going to attach some stuff to my pole versus respawn the area just because of, there's 8 minutes left. So I'm just going to attach and just see. And then probably the next time I'm playing this, if I play in it again, I'll probably just try that theory, not even spod. But the first time I put this up on my channel, I did both spotted and then just attached the same spod mix to my rod or my closed feeder, and it worked just fine. So what I'm going to do this time, with 7 minutes left, just in case I can start putting up some scores, I'm actually just going to, instead of throwing some more out on the mix there, because that's out, I'll just go over here, remix what I had to make sure I had enough. And the mix I was using, it's pretty much already there and saved. I do need to add some black roacher, so I'll just come over here. It's going to be a little excessive, but I just don't, preferably not run out again. I'd come down here and see, make sure I have enough of each. I can only put one of those in. And then just for an attractant, just in case the bream want to bite, but you definitely want to stay, 2 or 3 with this. I did put one on because there's a bream in here as well, and then just Tutti Frutti for an attractant as well, but that one's out, so I need to put one in there. And then simply mix it. Once you've mixed it up, all you got to do is attach it to your rod. And again, with these things, they're not 100% foolproof, but just not to mess it up, always start with your black roacher if that's kind of what you're wanting to target, and then looking at the fish species in the lake, then you can just match it up accordingly. I mean, you could probably actually put in the sweet crucian if you didn't want the Tutti Frutti, and that probably would pick up your Prussian carp a little more, maybe. So that would be an assumption. So then just come over here, go down to the mix that you just mixed up. That one's empty, and then simply attach it. And then I'll just reload every time. So at least you have a little bit of extra attractant. It's going to be overkill because I got 89 ounces of it, but I wanted to keep it kind of strong and just see if that makes a difference. And if you noticed, it did pause the game for me, so as you're doing your mixes, the timer don't keep running. Now, what I can't figure out is, like I said, are you supposed to spot and do both, or do you just put it on your feeder and hope that it does the job for you? But it looks like we're going to get another bite, so we'll take it. But I would assume you want to do one or the other or both. In other words, just probably throwing pinkies out there on the smallest hook you have in your tackle box is probably not the best approach. So you're going to want some kind of attractant. But black roacher in this one makes the most sense. Similar to the, what's the other one? Roach Rider. Again, I would assume a 12 or a 10 might even work, but I'm just trying not to miss many fish, so I put down a really small hook. What the hell, there might be a 16, hashtag 16, I'm not sure. I mainly carry, I think, 12s and 14s for things like this. But we'll see if the bite rate slacks off. And I did go and test Willow again off stream because I accidentally forgot to sign up for the Carp Foundation there at the Sandersby. But I did go back to Willow, and I even tried Super Dave's mix, that Super Viagra. And for me, I couldn't get oversized. Nothing good was happening for me at Willow. So I don't know if they've nerfed it or made it to where they've changed the oversize. I have no idea yet. I still gotta play around with it. But Willow to me seems like there's something wrong with it now. And I don't know if they changed the oversize there or like it's just an attractant or something weird for me in particular is going on at Willow, and I can't put my hand on it just yet. So just throwing that out there. Hey Dutch, how you doing, buddy? Just doing a comp grind, man. How's your evening? Chilling at the Congo. You still tearing up those yellow Congo fish? I seen you send me that number one biggest fish right now on the leaderboards, that yellow Congo. It does seem like I did have a little better luck with just spotting too, so not 100% sure on this one. I'll tell you what, I was doing the recatch Dutch at the Congo back there in winter, and I had a bunch of this exact rod set up. It's just a little bitty, shit, I can't remember the name of them. All around 1210, I think, or something. Getting some Nile, good money. Heck yeah, man. I had these, but anyway, I had these set up, and I was trying to get the little fish, and having fun fighting them, and all of a sudden I got a the unique Congo fish, and you want to talk about a fight on this rod with that Congo fish? Those things can fight if you have a smaller gear for sure. In other words, I got spooled on this little setup that I have here. I think this is a 12-pound setup with a 15-pound 4-liter on it. So that unique Congo fish there at that 16 to 19-pound range is pretty good fighting fish. Again, as you can see, that's kind of tracked off again on this guy. So maybe you do. Maybe it is better to spot every periodically. You could probably almost put, again, no problem with the Nile 190. Nice. Yeah. Dutch, have you fished at all at Willow since the update? I went in earlier, even off stream, was messing around since I forgot to register for that the Carp Foundation thing, and I don't know what's wrong, man. I even tried my cloudy mix. I tried my in a cloudy day. I tried a night mix, and I tried my sunny day mix that I caught a 102 pounder on twice. Didn't do well at all. And I also tried Super Dave's mix, his Super Viagra, on a sunny day, and I didn't have hardly any luck at all. So I don't know if it's broke for just me or if everybody else is experiencing the same thing. And the lake itself is extremely laggy. Yeah, is this one? Yeah, let me know, dude. If you don't have anything going sometime before you log out, or if you play tomorrow or whatever, uh, let me know and kind of just give me some feedback, because the D's universe was kind of saying the same thing. So I don't know if it's just a coincidence or as we pull one here at the end. But yeah, I think on this, guys, you might have to, you might want to spot a little bit. What I think I'm going to do next time if I play in this, I'm going to put a mix together to spot with, and then I'm going to have a mix separate to keep on my in my feeder. But we did put up 11 fish on this. I think it is different. Yeah, I appreciate it. Sure there, Dutch. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But the yeah, I'd probably do that a little different. Maybe have a whole mix on your a whole mix, a nice mix to have on your spod rod, and then maybe a separate mix. So have two different mixes over here, one that you can put on your rod and reel that won't run out, and then just one to have in your spod rod. Maybe if it gets slow like that, just throw out a couple spods and just see if that picks back up. But that might be what they're doing. If not, there's some stud way smarter than me with the mixes that has a really solid mix, and he just puts it on, attaches it, mixes a bunch up like I did there, and it never runs out. So who knows? But nonetheless, we did put up a few points. I'm going to play in this in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and keep the stream going. I'm going to just fish around at the Amazon and have a little bit of fun, keep the stream going. You guys feel free to stop in if you want. And then I want to say this thing starts in an hour and a half, give or take. So I'm going to go over there and just mess around at the Amazon for fun and get set up for that. And double check. I want to say that you may only use float tackle and a keep net, so that'll be that. And I want to say it's catch the big and the small. So actually, yeah. Oh shoot, I kind of need to. Okay, yeah. I'll warm up a little bit. I'll keep the stream alive. I needed to kind of post that separately because I forgot I've never put that up on there. But I'll go ahead and keep the stream up. Josh, good luck if you're playing. I think you are playing in this thing. I hope you do better than I did. Oh, Josh, you said you had one? Yeah, try various mixes there, Dutch, and see if you have the same luck as I am. Yeah, test a couple different mixes there if you get a chance, man. I hope it's just me that's broken. I don't know. I haven't changed anything, so I know they were having trouble with the like these things aren't saving correctly, so I went back and redid a bunch. But I got a bunch of my own mixes, and of course I've got that's Krelek's little grass carp mix, and then D's mix, and then of course Super Dave's. But I'm not having very much good luck at all at Willow right now, so I don't know what's happened there. I really truly don't. But I'm gonna make sure I got me a couple rods and reels there set up. I'll do a little fishing at the Congo and maybe a little lure fishing and a little float fishing, but we'll get that set up. And I do need to have. I think I also need to have a float rod for the small as well, because you have to get the small one on a float. So I'll bring that. I think I do got bloodworms. I'll go ahead and throw a small hook on there for that. Just so I have that with me, and then bring that for shark. Let's see, bring that one for sure. Backpack's full, that means I'm full of reels probably. Yep. One second, boys. I want to make sure. I want to show you guys something too. If I think I got it with me. I bought this a long time ago, and I can't remember how much this thing was, but I can tell you the red or oranges one for the sharks works a lot better than the. This is actually a Baitcoin lure. I can't even remember. That thing was ungodly too. How much that cost? Let me look real quick for you guys. In other words, I know I've showed you on my video before catching shark with the lure, but man, that thing was. I hope it wasn't 70 Baitcoins I spent on that thing, but I can't remember. It was not cheap. There's the green one. Wasn't that one? Guess I'm blind again. Oh yeah, there it is. It was 77 Baitcoins. Do not waste your money on that. I'll bring it with you and just kind of show you a comparison. Don't waste your Baitcoins on that. For me, the shark killer is the green one's all right, but this orangish one actually does really well. And I think that was one of the very first videos I put up on my channel. You don't always just sit and slay trophy and after trophy, but if you're looking to do something a little different than fish with a Troy or a dual swim bait, it actually works fairly well. Speaking of which, I might let's see if I can get that out of there. Trying to see if I got that big. I used to be able to catch a few on the big jig head. I don't think I got it with me. That one. That thing's hard to work though. Good lord. I'll bring it with me anyway. And then, let's see, I gotta have a Troy. What am I missing? Yeah, that one works real. The deep crank works pretty good, man. Takes a little special of a technique, but it works well for me, so. I think I'm missing something too here. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Where's my tiger killer? There we go. So we'll go see how boring it is and see if we can get a couple shark or not. Josh, is the pace picked up for you any on the catch 'em all there? I knew that one could be kind of a sleeper, but hey, I was happy to catch 10. Or I might have even got 11. Did I get 11 there at the end? I might have hit the 11th there at the end. I think, what is our, hold on here. I'm sure the shark peak's like 17 days advanced. They always do that. Of course it is. That's my favorite peak there to fish, but I'm going to start here at the night and just kind of see how the server feels, so to speak. But again, you can't sit and expect to slay trophy after trophy, but you can at least fill your net with this thing a lot of times, and you know, just depends on how patient you are. In other words, sometimes you can get them a couple shark fairly quick, and then it'll slow down, and that unique just sits there for, or the not the unique, but the trophy. I guess it kind of would be a unique since there is no unique, so the trophy kind of acts like a unique. If any of you guys watched my comp grind yesterday when I played or was fishing for the asp, I actually got 2 of my unique asp on the triple oneer arrow. It just kind of takes a little bit of a special unique. Like I said, I'm trying to reel and float off that bottom. Yeah, I actually hold on. Let me show you. I'll show you guys something. Now this is not going to happen live stream, I'm sure, but I'll show you guys a mark where I actually caught a 440 pounder on this. But again, you could go around just catching, you know, a common and a bunch of the youngs. But for me, it's a lot better than a duo swim bait. And sometimes they'll just be little tiny ones, but nonetheless, if you don't want to fish with bottom rods and stuff, it's a fun lure to use. As you can see, I caught a 440 pounder on that. That's a max shark. That's as big as they get. And it wasn't at night. It was just, I want to say around 8 o'clock or something like that. And I'm bad at not always putting timestamps on stuff, but yeah, that was a treat. Right around Thanksgiving last year, I think. I was over here messing around, and that was a pretty good fight. But again, what will happen a lot of times when you're going for these things, especially if you're trying to get the trophy with a lure. Yeah, cloudy day too, yeah. Normally, if you're wanting to fish with lures and you're not wanting to fish at night, Dutch, by far, just from obviously look at my rank. I'm a big time farmer, grinder, that kind of a player. Knowing this lake really well, by far, you're not going to find a better peak than this as far as fishing for lures as well. So if you're wanting, you can come through on some of these other peaks too, but they get a little sketchy. But this one, no matter what the weather is that day, that peak in particular is great for lure fishing for shark. But most of the nights will do all right. So if it gets slow, you know, and you're trying to learn this lure, or any of your lures that you're trying to, whether you're trying to throw a big jig head or you're trying to get them on the jigging spoon, what's the other one? Gollum. A lot of people like the Gollum lure. If you also like the duo swim baits, any of those things, they all work. I don't know if I have it with me. There's actually a jerk bait. What is that thing? The Fire Opal or something? The Fire Opal will pick them up as well. I want to say it's an 8.0. I don't know if I got it with me. That one will pick them up. I don't think it still is not as good. And again, that's my personal preference with that minnow. But a lot of times, guys, if you look at your fish species, the minnow it's like a Rapallo in real life for what we use. But preferred lures, swim baits, crankbaits, and minnows. Minnows is that deep crank, guys. That's what a minnow is. So anytime you're fishing for stuff, even like the asp, and you guys that might have caught my comp stream yesterday, I caught 2 of my unique asp. I was getting sick of the walkers missing, but it comes with that. I'm not telling you to buy it, but if anybody of you guys that got the Patriot Walker and all that stuff, that thing comes in the same pack, and that thing is an asp killer. ASP, asp killer for sure. But again, it's kind of all in technique. But sometimes what'll happen is you might catch, you know, 1 or 2 quick over here or wherever spot. I'll bounce around the map a little bit, but it may get a little slow. But any of you guys that's fished for shark with lures know what I'm talking about. But sometimes what'll happen is you'll get 1 or 2 fairly quick, and then it gets really slow, and that's just kind of like going for the unique perch if you get the trophy. Oh yeah, you're welcome, buddy. And it's just kind of the same thing. For the asp now, you might want to work, you know, just figure out your water column, you know. The asp normally kind of like at midpoint or towards the top, but they will, you know, just occasionally just work through and just kind of see. That's what I like about the lure. Um, you can cover a lot of the water with it, just to try to figure out where they're at. But yeah, the I'll try out a couple other lures too, but this one here usually does pretty good. And they will just hit it right off the bottom, as you notice there. Now the part that can get, this might be a better one. The part that can get tricky is, I don't know what this is. It might just be a common, not 100% sure. Okay, see, there you go. That's a nice, definitely a nice common, just right off a deep runner. So they do hit. I wasn't just making that up when I put that clip together, but that's when it'll get. I'm sorry, Dutch. I missed what you said there. Hold on, let me my stream. My phone's been messing up today. I try to keep my phone up and going so I can, just in case I miss something on my monitor. And of course, my phone is gonna have to be restarted. But anyway, yeah, Dutch, I missed what you said there, buddy. But what'll happen here, guys? I'll pull my phone back up here in a second, Dutch. But what'll happen is, just like if you're fishing for a unique perch, since you don't have a unique shark, you could have more blockers, and they could be really stubborn. And you guys experience that fishing for Nile perch. You could get that common, then a trophy, and it's like, okay, well, is the unique ever going to bite? Okay, Josh must have caught what you said. Yeah, Dutch, I knew you played on both platforms. I'm sorry, I missed what you said there. I was fighting that. You finished with 3 and you got 11. Yeah, I think that must have been that slower peak, Josh. But I think I could have made some different plays in that. I think to fine tune that one a little bit for you guys. I'll get better. But don't feel bad, Josh. Who knows? You always got to figure RNG in there too. But yeah, like I said, if you're going around farming, this is a great, fun lure to use. Sometimes they'll just smash it, but to save you from the boredom, I'll do 3 or 4 casts at this thing. But it's just like going for a unique perch. If you guys have got a trophy perch and then you're trying to get the unique, same thing. I just caught the common. So no guarantees that the trophy will hit, you know. They're not quite as aggressive as the Nile perch either, but I've noticed that after you get the common, it's that same chess game, how many times you're going to throw at it. So I normally, if I get really bored, I'll bounce around to another spot and just hope a trophy bites it. But definitely a lure to give a try if you're trying to get a trophy shark on a lure, which is a little different, you know. I'll give it a few casts, guys, if I don't get one. But just to save yourself the money, don't. I always give good advice, or the best advice through my experience in the game. This one here is a piece. This one, it'll still catch them, but it is not worth 77 bait coins. I repeat. Now that doesn't mean this thing might slay something else somewhere. I don't even know if but this one I actually will pick up the Nile perch as well. Trophies and commons more so, but you can get the unique Nile perch on this as well. This deep runner. And that's just a regular store credit bought. One of the secret, or one of the most underutilized lures in the game, in my opinion, is the minnows. And as again, you guys, I put that up on the Nile Emperor tips as far as using the sinking one. Again, now pay attention to when you buy those too. Not to ramble on, but if you look at that, it says buoyancy and sinking. So that's a reel and sink lure. In other words, the action, if you guys, I was catching the really small Nile perch for the Nile Emperor. I put that video up to help people out. That one will actually get you a really small Nile perch, but you use it totally differently. You're going to reel it and let it sink versus getting them to entice the bite on a See, like this one says floating, so pay attention to those things when you purchase those. That one's a bait coin lure as well, but I think it was only like 20 bait coins. But the same thing there, the other versions of that still work, but this one actually was worth the bait coins for me. And obviously you can use it on other things as well. Yeah, if you ever playing that Nile Emperor and you're struggling to get that smaller perch, again, I put a video up on that. I don't know if anybody's watched it really, but I might have had 100 views or something out of it. But it actually, that method actually does work. But again, see, so right now, since this is buoyant, the trick is I'm trying to keep it to the bottom, let it float up and entice a bite, to where the sinking one, you want to keep it up, let it sink, keep it up, let it sink, so to speak. So like a reel and sink, and this here is more of a reel and float. But I used to spend hours going around the Amazon fishing for shark, and it took me a hot minute to find one that I really liked. But after experimenting with various crankbaits, shads, that sort of thing, this to me was my number one go-to. The swim baits are all right, the golem's all right, but the golem, you know, I don't know if I have the golem with me. It might be in my tackle box. The golem, as you well know, it's going to bottom out right there. So let's say you're reeling the golem in. It's going to be shallow, right? So it's going to stuck there. But what if the shark are down here? This lure is more versatile, because if you want to fish it down here, you can fish it down here, let it sink. You know, even though you're in shallow water, it's 39 feet, so it'll actually pick up stuff up here as well. So if there's a shark here, you can work through here and then raise it. But I'll try another cast or two here. If I don't get it, I'll show you this thing out in the deep water. There's a deep water spot I can fish with this as well, and that's a blast over there. That's if you're in the shark fish. Now again, obviously you can go around with the Troy, but I think for me, it's more gratifying or satisfying to catch them with a lure. I don't know, it just feels like you're doing something better than just throwing the Troy out there. Yeah, that's cool, Tinker. Yeah, you just got to keep chipping away. Like I said, dude, I've fished this game a lot, man, and this game will humble you, especially in those comps, man. So don't get a complex about it. Just like I said, ultimately fishing the ones that you like and you have fun in, but it's something different to do. And hey, who knows? You know, if you get that lucky run on any of them, especially the lucky comps, man. If you have to catch just a certain size fish, if it's on and you don't have nothing going and you're on the game, you might as well try it. You know. But yeah, that Neherrin one's pretty fun. But yeah, a lot of those guys, you got to realize they've been, some of those, especially those older lakes guys, good Lord, how long have they been playing in them? You know, so they got that upper hand right off the bat. But that doesn't mean that you can't gain ground on them if it's one that you like playing in. But again, kind of the way I set my channel up, guys, I'm not very organized just yet. And then between work and kind of doing this stuff here on the side, it's I need a little more time, but obviously I want to play and enjoy myself too. But if you look through on my channel, the kind of the way I set it up is the live, if it says Fishing Planet Live and then the name of the comp, that's kind of my little tutorial, so to speak, or kind of my personal feelings going through it. And then if it says live carp grind, that's just me refishing ones that I haven't put on my channel just for fun. So that's kind of how I broke that down. Just a video. If you look through my actual videos, my videos are where I give tips and tricks, whatnot, and I actually edit and do stuff. Yeah, you did good, buddy. 1,200. I think that's almost what I put up, and that was my PB the other day in it. That's some good. That was some good fishing, man. 1,200 ain't nothing to be ashamed of that. Yeah, 'cause I think I only got 12. I got 12 something as well. So, hell, you're right there with me, bro. I'll make this the last cast over there, and I'll go somewhere else. But you'll find, again, when you get, since I caught a 100-pounder and then I caught a 205-pounder or whatever that thing was, you get that common, man. These trophy shark can put you to the test. So, and again, if you're wanting the lure fish, you can just go from night to night, get it fine tuned. But I know that Shark Peak, That one that I showed you early in the stream here is kind of the best one. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm just going to kind of mess around here a little bit at the Amazon, and then we got the Blaze to Make Shark tournament here in the in a little bit, and it's just kind of big and small. Okay, okay, good. Yeah, that's one I haven't put up on my channel either, but it's pretty much the Kanik Creek. But I will put it up on my channel at some point. And again, I labeled just to help any of you guys out that are wanting to do comps and any future players on Fishing Planet that kind of struggled like I did when I first started getting into them. Again, I've labeled all those live, Kanik Creek, Salmon Clash, any of those things. And then always, if I've picked up something off of a fellow streamer or somebody, I always give credit to whether it's Krellick, Super Dave, anybody else that might have gave me a tip on the things. But I'm just trying to put the thing up there to give you some of my personal experience as well. So yeah, feel free to look through any of those. Anytime you want to play on one, it's a long list, so I've put a ton of those things up in this short amount of time since I put the channel up to try to help you guys the best I can. But yeah, these things, I'm going to go over here and try to kind of show you this little deep spot. But again, if you got plenty of shark marks, you can hop around and at least have fun with this lure. Let's see if I can get one to bite down here. If I don't wreck my boat. And if anybody didn't have this mark, I'll show you. I don't even think it's a big mark, but there's trophy shark in here as well. That's a long mark, but what you're wanting to do is, oh, that was a 268 pounder too. That was decent. You just kind of want to pull it through that area. This is weird because this is a cool spot. If you look at the, well, heck, it won't let me look at it right now, but let me cast out there and I'll show you. I mean, this is well in the deep of the part of the water, but this lure will not even bottom out in this. You can see that's some really deep water there. Not to mention it's deeper out there, but let's see if this spot's active. Try 5.0 buzzbait with X series nymph or salute nymph for Chinook if you haven't have a roach spoon. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Josh, for helping him on that. If you've seen what he said there, Tinker, a lot of them are claiming now if you're not having luck with or if you don't have the roach spoon, just attach the nymph to like a 4.0 or a 5.0 5.0 buzzbait, and some of them are claiming you can even get the bigger salmon. That's kind of my problem too, Tinker. I go in there, I'll get my salmon, and and I even got to where I can get my two salmon, you know, one from the top, one from the bottom, and for whatever reason, I never get them over that 60 to 65 pound range as well. Oh, I'm not in a comp right now. I'm practicing in between. There'll be a shark comp later. I'm just messing around. Let's keep the stream going. How you doing, Madden? Thanks for stopping by, man. Hey, what's up, Tazo, my man? I'm just sitting there messing around with Amazon, bro. What are you up to? Trying to stir up a few shark the old-fashioned way here. No guarantees. I did get a nice common, so I didn't get skunked. Right on, bro. I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't have any X series gear at the moment, Josh, but I have found success with a 1.5 flat spoon. Yeah, I seen what you were saying, Tinker. I'm sure he got it. Are you talking about the trophy flat spoon? Yeah, that's got a ring to it, bro. That's got a ring to it for sure, my man. Thanks for stopping by the stream, Tazo. If you see that, Tinker, spoon is 30 days at Lesney, and then row a kayak for I don't know, 12 hours straight. I can't remember what it was. It's a hot minute, and it don't really tell you how much farther you got to row it to. That's what annoyed me. That's how you get those nymphs, though. Good to hear, Tazo, my man. I might just have to get on and then go more than spin after money for spin. Yeah, and Tinker, if you didn't know how to do your 30-day stays, basically all you want to do. Here, I got you here. If you guys don't mind, let me show him something just in case. I don't know if you did your 30-day stays. If you go over here, Tinker, it'll show you like on the kayaks and stuff, whatever you gotta do. But come through here and look at this stuff. But on your 30-day stays, for sure, guys, you want those X Series gear. Just go all the way down. It'll show you the stuff to the side, what you got to get and what you got to do. It's way down here now, but let me hold on. And 30 days, Kanique is a bullet spinner. Yeah, so then all you'd want to do is see how this is Explorer? Once you do 1 and 2, basically it'll go through. It gives you marker buoys and stuff. You just want to take your boat off, take off your keep net if you got a big keep net, and then just go to that lake, fast forward night to night. It don't cost you any bait coins. It will cost you some money, because you're advancing the days, but it's worth the it's worth doing it to get your stuff. That's assuming you got the money. But again, Tinker, if you look at which one's which, it'll tell you once you get there. It'll tell you what the reward is. And there's also a website. What was that, Josh, that you were saying? Yeah, Lesney's cheap too. Yep. But one I recommend for sure is Willow to get your glow crawl as well. That glow crawl is important. A glow crawl is very important. Let's see. Try another cast here, see if I can get a bite or not. And you guys tuning in, I'm just killing some time right now. We got a comp coming up here in, I want to say 45 minutes to an hour, so I'm just messing around with some shark. And there's one. As you can see, that thing is extremely deep. That's the good thing about this deep runner is you can fish it, even if this isn't enormous. You can fish this thing in the deep water or the shallow and still make it work. Even though that wasn't enormous, nonetheless, definitely fun to catch. Now if you're a boss, you'll set your anchor and really fight the set your anchor and then fight the shark. But I'm not in the mood for a long fight. Hold on a second. Let me pull my stream back up so whenever I miss a text I can answer what you guys are saying here. My phone had froze, of course. Yeah, I must be running some heavy line. Yeah, this is actually I like that. This is the smaller Tropicana. It's 83-pound test. But yeah, don't try this without a titanium leader as well. Yep. This is the smaller Tropicana. I don't know if it helps because you got titanium out there. This one don't cast as far. I did bring my other one just in case, but I usually don't have too much trouble with it. I did catch that 200-pounder on it a second ago, so. But again, as you can see, just try to keep that near the bottom. And a lot of times they'll just hit it. And sometimes you can get them to hit it on the float. You can see how quick that floats up. This is a weird spot to fish though, because you let that float too much, you can't keep that down there. So. And of course the Nile Chaser. You can use the Nile Chaser as well. I brought it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, here's the stupid part about the game, and I hope, like I said, and I don't know who come up with it, but here's the weird part. Let me see if it, here's the weird part about the game that I don't understand. I hope they didn't nerf Willow. Let me go to another spot here. I'm not gonna try that right here, but here's, in my opinion, it's kind of the stupid part. If they've done something and nerfed Willow where whether it's the oversized or whatever they've changed, but they let you go around with a 13-pound setup and catch shark. Now I showed you guys how to catch a decent shark just with a lure, but let's see if we can. Here's the part that's silly, that they sit and let you catch shark with these things. And a lot of people and all the comps are going to be using this, and unfortunately, I have an eerie suspicion that they're doing the same thing in Meaty Fellas, and they're doing the same thing in the Trophy Whiskers. And they're just, because everybody kind of knows, anybody that plays the Don't Bully Me Shark and a lot of these other plays the Maze, is they're all running Troys. Now, of course, I'll put it out and probably not get a bite, but yeah, a lot of them are just fishing with these things. But I kind of hope that at some point, to me, if they're trying to make things sim and they're getting rid of oversized fishing, to where like the carp's just going to spawn in, and you're not going to be able to get the oversized. In other words, what they're saying is, there's some people have the rumors that they just patched the oversized fishing. The spods will still work. This is just all hearsay and rumors, so it's just one guy talking to the next here. The rumor has it that they're working on maybe not doing the oversized. In other words, there still could be 90-pound carp in there or whatever, but the spod's just going to be an attractant. It doesn't actually make the carp bigger. That's just a rumor, so who knows. But if they were to nerf that, then why wouldn't they get rid of this Troy? Because you shouldn't be able to catch a 400-pound shark with a 13-pound line. But yeah, that part always kind of drove me crazy. In other words, the Don't Bully Me Shark, the Big Brother, the Blaze the Maze, any of the shark comps. All right, man. Yeah, man. Enjoyed the chat, Tazo. Thanks for stopping by, bro. I'll see you in the party chat sometime, I'm sure. Have a good evening, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream. But yeah, we'll see if we can get anything. But yeah, that part just kind of drives me. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about the thing, but if they're doing that in the Meaty Fellas and stuff, that's kind of cheesy, especially if nobody else knows what they're doing. But they've been putting up some ridiculous scores, and you could look on the leaderboard and see you can click on the profile and see what kind of rods and reels they're using. And it seems to me, by looking at the Meaty Fellas and looking back there, the guys at the top all had Troys in their inventory. So if they got Troys in their inventory, now the difference is you'd say, well, Rode, don't you use that for the shark stuff? But yeah, but anybody else that knows how to use it is going to use it. But if they're using it in the catfish comps, and not very many people know that they're doing that, and they got some magic rock somewhere or magic spawn point, and they're just pulling the catfish out one by one when everybody else is trying to use a bottom rod, it's kind of unfair. So, in my opinion, I think your rod should break, or your line should just get bit off if you're using a 20-pound or 13-pound setup to catch anything bigger than, let's say, 25, 30 pounds, At least you shouldn't be catching 300-pound comma catfish at the Congo, and some of them are even trying to use it on perch and stuff. But if they're using those things, I don't know why they haven't taken that out of the game yet. But go and nerf if they did, and I could be wrong, but Dutch, like I said, if you go sometime, let me know if you think Willow fills off, because there's something wrong at Willow right now. And I was having so much fun carp fishing there. And I hope that maybe they just messed up on this update, but the rumor has it is they're doing something different there. So let's hope that but I'll save the Troy thing for later. But it got me thinking about it, and it's just one of those things that was annoying me. In other words, when a guy wants to go stream catching some nice oversized carp, and if they change the lake entirely, and they didn't even let you know that they've done stuff, because they've done that stuff before in the past where I remember going to the Maroon River and being able to absolutely tear up the Tri-Era there, and then I go back after an update and the Tri-Era is just not the same as they once were. So I don't know. In other words, why do they nerf that when they don't nerf the Troy, when that thing's costing them a fortune as far as people just coming in and running the show, so to speak, on these shark. Do you have to use carp rods there? No, you do. Well, I don't know, man. Taker, I don't know now. I'm gonna have to relearn Willow all over again if they've messed up. Here's what I've concluded so far is the bottom rods are not used to work like they did before, because all you would have to do is use like Jamari palm fruit, that sort of thing, and you could catch the shark just by spotting them in the oversized ones. That's how I was on my channel there. I was at the 90 and the 100 pounders. But what seems to me that's changed is that they've made it to where maybe that's the only thing you do. But I went there, and in closing, I know I'm rambling on this subject, but I went there and I had, I don't have them with me now, but I had 2 carp rods with me. I even tried carp rods, and I still wasn't getting the bite that I should be. But to answer your question, previously, before this update, you could just go in there with bottom rods and do just fine on sweet corn, Jamari palm fruit, camo, any of those things. Oh, what do you use the glow crawl there to try to get the wells? Josh, is that what you're saying? I think I'm about out of peak too, guys. We'll see if I can get something. But yeah, the carp, something's going on there at Willow. But that's my suspicion, is either the lake's glitched out and they didn't realize it, or they've made it to where you can still spot and stuff. There's still going to be big fish there, or the recipes or something's changed. Like they changed all the recipes up because, any of you guys that were carp fishermen, I don't know if you'll notice, Dutch, but when you go to play at Willow, also you're going to find your recipes are messed up. Like you can't load them. You'll put them in and it won't let you mix. So any of your saved recipes, you can't mix right now without restarting the template. So if any of those important things that you got in your template, you might write down to the side or simply have an empty spot, transfer it down, and then erase your old one, if that makes sense. I'm going to have to go through all mine because I got like 20. That's got me a little annoyed as well. But again, I know they're working on stuff, so I'm trying to be patient as I can. But I really hope that they didn't change the carp fishing there at Willow, because I don't know what sense that would make at this point, since that lake's so old, to change that. If you were going to take something out of the game or nerf it, get rid of the Troy, because that's, if you're trying to be more sim, so to speak, what's more unsim than catching shark on 13-pound test line on a Troy, on a telescopic rod, or perch and tigerfish, and glitching in the comps to pull out the combo catfish and all that. And I don't mind minting it on live stream. That's, in my opinion, I just think that's shoddy. So hopefully they change some of that stuff. Oh, Dutch, you wasn't even there. I was rambling for an hour about Weeping Willow. I was gonna tell you, I don't know if you noticed that the templates on your mixes, I don't know if you had all your mixes saved. It'll let you load it up in there, but when you go to mix it, it won't let you mix them. So like you either have to have a notebook to rewrite them down, or have an open template to make sure that you've saved it. So I don't know exactly what they've did there, but there's something in Willow has changed. But yeah, I'm curious to have somebody else, because I know you know how to spot too. I'm curious to talk to a couple other players that know how to spot and see if the same thing's going on for them at Willow or not. I didn't fish for them extensively since the patch, but I went in enough to know that something's changed. Because I tried Sunny Day Peak stuff. I tried the Cloudy Mix that I developed. I tried my Night Peak stuff that I developed. And even my Sunny Day mix that was doing really good. Tried Tuba Dave's mix. So I tried it enough to know that something's off for me. Yeah, well, like I said, just when you do, get back to me and shoot me a little message and let me know if you're experiencing the same thing that I am. Bergie. Bergie don't know if he'll make this comp. And guys, we're just killing a little bit of time here before the shark thing. It's usually pretty fun. We'll go around and do what everybody else is doing and use the Troy, but we'll try to catch a few sharks here. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dutch. Like I said, one of those things that's driving me crazy because I had a bunch of video ideas that I was gonna do and stuff, and now it just seems broke. So, and I was really enjoying the carp fishing there now that I knew how to spot and everything else. So, in other words, I hope that they wouldn't nerf and just change something without at least saying, hey, we've changed this. There's no more oversized. There will still be big carp in there. We've changed it up where you have to figure out new mixes, that sort of thing. I would be up for a challenge, but at least let people know. Because if you invested all your, you don't understand how long it could take you to learn how to spot, to put mixes together that work, and then when you pass it on to your friends, and then you go in there and it's not working anymore, it kind of frustrating. I knew a guy that I got a guy on my friends list. That's his favorite place to fish. So I don't know if he's logged in recently since that update and seen if he's had the same thing. But I know he's played this game for a long time, and however long Willow's been out, 3 or 4 years. But he told me he had 30 pages of notes and stuff that he took. He got into carp fishing that much. He took 30 pages of notes in an actual notebook, a captain's log, so to speak, on carping. So I was just curious to see if, because I don't think it's just me. And maybe they're just in the process of revamping Willow because it's extremely laggy in that lake as well, and I don't know what's going on exactly. Maybe they're giving it a facelift, and I'm talking about it for 20 minutes on stream here for nothing. So hopefully that's the case. But I know that I know when something feels off, and to me it feels off. And you guys gonna play in the shark comp coming up here? Let me take a look at that here in a second too. Okay, we only got 30 minutes here, guys. Let me pop around and I'll try a couple more casts here if I can get something. I'll rotate out. There you go, Josh. Josh got him one. Even if you catch 150, 180 pounder sometimes with a lure, it feels good on the shark. They can be very difficult to get with a lure. There's one. Oh, he's gonna pull me over there too, and he's gonna make me find him. Get in here. I don't think he's very big, but maybe. Kind of deceiving. Nah, he ain't very big. But he's alright though. Quick $8,000 anyway. Let's see if I can get another one to hit here. Again, you guys tune in, welcome to the stream. I'm just messing around with some shark, getting ready for Blaze the Maze. And that one you have to use a float, but everybody's going to be using the Troy, unfortunately, so you kind of got to join the crowd. I think it would be more fun if they had a shark tournament when you had to use a lure. And when you caught a trophy, it would be really, really rare. See you later, Bergie. But as you can see, this lure is fairly effective. Sometimes you just gotta let it cycle out. Not guaranteed you'll get a trophy every time, but if you stay at it long enough, you'll eventually get one that's pretty cool. That's probably another. Not bad. They're coming. I'll keep throwing at it just to see if I can get at least a common out of here. Again, but I used to drive around and just fish with this and a couple other lures and just fill a net, having fun. Yeah, it does. It does take time. Yeah, that's what I like about it too. You know, it's more of it, like I said. The Troy just kind of drives me crazy. And I think if they're going to try to go sim and change a bunch of stuff at other lakes, I think one thing, if you would start with it, I think the telescopic rod should be used for fish that are panfish, that sort of thing. Or at least, you know, you're not going to catch a 400-pound shark on a Troy. You shouldn't. And it is a video game, so I understand that part. But if it is a video game, then don't nerf the oversized carp, because that's actually pretty fun. Man, that was a huge live spike there. Yeah, go give it a try. Like I said, I got a bunch of good recipes and stuff I'd put on my channel on how to mix, and I'll do all that. But I can't guarantee anything right now, Tinker. As you can tell, I'm a little frustrated that Willow's messed up, but I'm going to try to stay patient with them. I just hope that if they were to change something, at least put some notes out, let people know. Trying to fix your key, lol. That's funny. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I would... Carp fishing's fun, man, but like I said, I'd like to try out and let me know if an oversized one should be in that 80-pound range. I was getting nothing but pretty much common unique, so to speak, so I was a little bit frustrated with that. But we'll see if anything changes. Let me try a duo swim bait, but I normally like the... I'm just going to do a little comparison here, see if I can pick up one off of swim bait. I do work... I can't get them with a swim bait, and I have a different unique... It's kind of the same, similar thing, but I'm working at the bottom. Instead of a stop and go, I'm doing twitch. No guarantees. I do not like the duo swim baits as much. I'll try to get one on a big... I'll try a jig head next if I don't get one in a couple casts with this. But I normally don't... I don't have as much luck with these as I do the minnows. Try it in the midpoint now just to see if they're up a little higher. Since we've caught two here, sometimes, like I was telling you guys before, since you catch two sharks in one spot, definitely be patient, because it could take more time. I could come back to the deep runner here in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and try a jig head. I may have to put on... Actually, hold on a second. Let me put the... I'll put this one back on here, and then I'm going to come over here to this. Make sure I got a titanium leader with me, do I? Yeah, that'll work. And I'll put that big jig head on here. 3 ounces, falls within the range, and I'll actually try a... the rib shad do work as well. If I can't get a bite on it, I'll try a couple cuts. This one's weird. It's going to be at the bottom, so obviously you're not going to keep this thing off the bottom. But that's kind of the goal, why they made it so heavy. I kind of want you to lift and drop with it, but as dumb as that looks right now, that's why they made that so heavy. They kind of made these for shark, as well as the Nile perch will hit this thing too. I'm not saying I'm going to get a bite now, but that's kind of what you're... It looks a little unorthodox, but that's what it's supposed to do. In other words, it's made to work on the bottom. But again, I don't normally have as much success with the jig heads. Now what I wish is they had the, wish the Carolina rigs and Texas rig were titanium. And then obviously the other way would be to just twitch it off the bottom. I'll do one more cast with it and switch to a, when I get a bite here, I'll go back to the deep runner. And we'll try doing a twitch as well this time. My apologies, I had to check my phone. And then again, you can just reel and twitch at the bottom. But again, for me, I have a lot more empty casts with these than I typically would with, in other words, you could sit here and cast this thing 16, 17 times finally, and you might get one. I'm definitely not going to do that on stream, but I do get them like this, just working them just like this if you ever want to try it and you're bored. But that would be the other way to use this big jig head. Same thing for perch. If you wanted to use this big jig head for perch, you can. I'll try one more cast with it. Same kind of way. You know, the perch are down low anyway, so you can actually catch the unique Nile perch on the, even if it's an 8.0, just because of the size of the jig head will kind of make a difference. So the big perch will actually hit this as well. But again, I prefer the offset hooks for the Nile perch. But that's just, everybody has their own little way of doing it. And you guys tune in. I'm just messing around here at the Amazon. We're going to have the shark comp here in a little bit. And I think after that's the old bucks. But what I'll do probably right before this starts, since I haven't put the Blaze the Maze up, I'll end this stream and I'll start a new one and just title it Blaze the Maze. That way it's saved on the channel for anybody that might want to be or might be confused on how to play the Blaze the Maze, because I have not posted that up on the channel yet. I was hoping to get at least the common out of here. I did get both the youngs. But we'll see. I'll give this a couple casts. If not, I'll rotate out. And that's kind of what you got to do on the sharks. Eventually what you'll find if you rotate after one or two of them. Now sometimes, you know, you might try 6, 7 casts after you get a common. Let's say you get a young and a common. Sometimes you can pick up the trophy bull shark on the lure, but sometimes if you're getting too bored, just hop around for spot to spot, and eventually you'll get a trophy shark on a lure. And this one, if I was to recommend any lures for trying to get the trophy shark, it would be this one. And again, any of you guys tuning in wondering what I'm doing is like, is this guy ever going to catch anything? I'm being so adamant about this lure because the only lure I've caught a 440-pound shark on was this one. So as you can see right there, deep runner, 39-footer. It's the orange reddish one. The green one works too, but yeah, to catch one of those beasts on a Tropicana was amazing. It was fun. So I'll go ahead and hop out here and come over to it. Go try a couple other different spots here. Again, I have the best luck with these things, just kind of doing the roll and flow method. And you guys that might have watched one of my first videos I put up on this channel, I kind of keep that to the bottom. Sometimes they'll hit it on the float. Just kind of find a way to, if you notice, I'm staying above the mark because one thing to pay attention to when you guys are fishing current, at the boat dock here at the Amazon, the water's all going to flow down towards the island, so I try to stay upstream. That way there's more, the current's going over the lure. In other words, it'll keep it to the bottom a little better. In other words, it's going to float up real quick if you fish this from the opposite angle. And it looks like the spot's active, so let me get a couple casts at it. And again, if you're totally just doing this to have fun, you know, a 170-pound shark even is going to give you a heck of a fight, you know, if you set your anchor. And just kind of like any of my shark tip videos I put up, if you're not getting a bite, you know, 3 or 4 minutes real time on a bobber or a bottom rod or whatever you're using, kind of the same thing. But since this spot looks active, there's plenty of activity at the water. I'll throw 4 or 5 casts at it, and if I don't get something, I'll move on. But again, fishing for the sharks with the lure does take a lot of patience. And there we got one. Don't guarantee it's big, but nonetheless it's a fish. Josh is currently playing in the Bloody Threat competition here at the Amazon River. But yeah, nice young shark on a lure. There's the famous YouTube spot over there, but I actually like the shark better on this side, in my opinion. A lot of people don't know that. And that's just from casting a lure a lot, guys. It's going around this island exploring. I cannot wait for ocean fishing. If that map's massive, it's going to be fun to go out and explore that thing. But this is another reason I keep putting myself through some of those comps. I would love to have the X Series Deep Runner. Even though it's a 6.0, I bet it's beefy for shark. I would love to have that lure. I don't know if they make an 8.0, but I know they make a 30, I want to say it's a 33-foot X Series Deep Runner. Be a great lure to obtain for sure. As well as I would assume to pick up some catfish. And again, if you're confused on that retrieve that I'm doing, you can do the same thing. It's basically just a reel and float, but you can reel and float like a stop and go too. So keep it to the bottom, let it float up, roll it right to the bottom, just let it sit. See, I'm using the current. I'm using the current to hold that lure down. In other words, it wouldn't work as well. Just know where your current is in your lake, so think about that. when you go to fish. In other words, if you're trying to reel this in and it won't even go down there, it's because you're fishing the wrong way on your current. On this map, the current flows from the dock, the boat dock where you spawn, all the way down to these islands. So that's why all these spots that I've been fishing, I'm fishing on the up current side, so to speak. But I normally just keep my rod tip up because you can miss them if you don't set the hook in time. So that's normally why I keep the hook set up, and then basically I'm just doing a stop and go. But it's more of a reel and float than a stop and go. But basically it's just a stop and go. And again, it does take a lot of patience, but if you go at it long enough, this is a lure you can get a trophy bull shark with. Just going to be a matter of rotating and find one that's active. And a lot of times, guys, I'm giving marks. Hold on. If you guys needed that mark, there's a. I think I gave it on my bull shark thing. Don't, Big Brother or Don't Bully Me Shark, one of those. Uh, I've gave that up before, so there's shark all through here as well. This is the YouTube spot I think everybody uses. I caught that one on blood, but I've caught a ton of the 440s. And then another well-known or not well-known spot I'll show you, even though I'm not actually tearing it up right now, but we do have 500 pounds of shark with just a lure. So this spot here in particular, you'd probably almost never see this one on YouTube as well. But you know, you got the Triura spot that I think. Hey Kitsky, welcome to the stream, man. I'm just messing around here at the Amazon, doing a little comp grind. But we got Blaze the Maze coming up here a little bit, so I'm just showing some guys on some lures and stuff. But welcome to the stream, my man. This is a nice little shark spot. There's trophies here. I just didn't remark them, but yeah, I've caught 400 pounders here. The well-known spot for this area is the unique Triura spot. And then normally, like I said, you look right over there at that island. Not the island, but you can park right there, you know, and everybody kind of goes for the Triura over there. But there's actually, Oh, you're from D's Universe? Okay, Kensky, yeah, nice to see you, man. I thought I'd seen that name before, man. I'm just chilling out here, doing some fishing. Welcome to the stream, my man. Just trying to grind a few shark out here for fun. Count some time. Unfortunately, I'm going to be reduced to using the Troy during the shark comp, so because that's what everybody else is going to be using. But I was just showing some people you can alternate ways to do it more legit, even if you're not making as much money as you would the Troy. If you get burned out on the Duo swim bait or the Gollum lure, the Deep Runner, the orange 39-foot 8.0 will get you shark. It just takes patience. How's your day going, Kensky? You gonna do some, you going into the comp, or you just chilling, man? Also, believe it or not, the Tri-Hero will actually hit these deep runners as well. So if you wanted to spawn over and try to pick up either one, you can. The 6.0 is actually a little better for the Tri-Hero, but the 6.0 deep runners will also pick up Tri-Hero. Hey, yeah, I appreciate it, Warren. Like I said, I got a few more minutes here. Let me see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream and then I'll restart it. But I just want to be able to title it Blaze the Maze because I have not put this one up. I put up Big Brother. I've put up Don't Bully Me Shark. But this one here is a little different. It's you got to use a float rod. It's a gap comp, so it's float tackle only. So you want to get like a tiny Raku or an Oscar or something. Try to get the biggest shark you can. I want to say it's an hour. Yeah. 1 hour long, so we'll be rotating around spots. Unfortunately, I'm going to be reduced to have to use the Troy. You can't use any lure rods or anything, but I would try to actually do it for fun, use a lure rod. But everybody, more than likely, the majority of the people that are going to go around and catching them, they're going to be using the Troy. So just the fist name. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you're from Germany. All right. I hope I pronounced that right, Kensky. I hope I'm Darkursky. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, my man. Yeah, it's Kensky, right? I hope I'm pronouncing that right, buddy. If I'm not, my apologies. Yeah. Uh, Me and I started before I even started my channel. I always enjoyed watching D's Universe's stream. So yeah, we get on the mic and stuff, and we fish together and stuff now. So yeah, D's Universe is a good streamer. I love his content, so I've always enjoyed watching D's stream. We're gonna try to collaborate on a couple things at one point. At some point, we were talking about whether it's a comp or a video or something. I know it. He's been busy doing his missions and all kinds of other stuff, and he was actually wanting me to go play the Call of Duties with him, but my sons kind of ruined me on the old Call of Duties. I got a 23-year-old son, 25-year-old son, but they used to put me in the search and destroy on Warzone and COD and all that stuff back in the day, and good grief. I just got to the point where I just knew I couldn't keep up with the youngins anymore on those shooter games, so I kind of progressed on to fishing and a few other games. So, but I've been enjoying the fishing planet here. But I know D's Universe gets into a lot more games than I do. I do like Battlefield 1. I also play GTA. Those are probably my other two go-tos. What else do you guys play? Yeah, I've noticed that, man. That he does stream at a different time than I do. Yeah, it is some pretty late streams there. So, uh, I'm gonna end this stream now, but I'm gonna start another one up here in about 7 minutes, guys. Give me a chance to. I gotta get a drink. We will be playing in this. I will put this up here in about 4 or 5 minutes. I'll be back here in about 4 minutes, and then we'll be ready to get this. I just want to be able to title this Star Wars Battlefront. I used to play. I haven't played the Battlefront, but yeah, Star Wars is a good series, man. But I'll put this up here in about 4 or 5 minutes. But I want to be able to label this Blaze the Maze so it's saved on my channel. So basically, people have the concept of what to do once they start getting in these comps. If you guys look around my channel, you'll see that if it says Fishing Planet Live, and then it'll have Blaze the Maze, Don't Bully Me Shark, whatever. That's just me going through to kind of understand what's going on. So, oh, it's 12 there now, yeah. But I'll be back here shortly, and you guys can watch me playing this thing. It'll be an hour-long comp. We're trying to get the biggest shark we can and the smallest fish we can in the lake, and just hope for a nice gap in between. So we'll see what we can get done here in a little bit. I'll see you guys in about 4 or 5 minutes.